What's up, everyone? It's Tokyo Brandon, WagerTalk's #1 all sports profit capper in 2025, 2024, 2022, and 2021. Yes, #1 in all sports profit among all cappers 4 of the last 5 years since I joined WagerTalk. It's so nice to be here with you guys. It's 1 a.m. here in Tokyo on Sunday morning, Saturday morning, where you guys are if you're in the North American hemisphere. And I'm going to be your DJ today. So I'm going to be your producer, your DJ, your capper, pretty much everything for you all. Thank you. I appreciate all the nice comments pouring in already. Please remember, I'm doing this on my own with no producer, so there's going to be some awkward pauses while I share my screen. And throughout the day, what I'm going to be doing is showing you how I, the #1 capper at WagerTalk, does how I do my plays. So I'm going to open my spreadsheets. We're going to do some capping together. This show is mostly for baseball nerds. So if you are just a casual fan and just want free picks, well, I mean, you'll get that, but there's a lot of talk in the middle because the people who like this show like the nuts and bolts about capping and sports betting, and I'm going to show them that. So how do I get my plays? How do I get to my theories? How do I get to where I want? That's what I'm showing you. Hang on. Let me see. That sign says ass man. Yes. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. As a matter of fact, Seinfeld, favorite TV show of all time. Probably Sopranos would be my next one. Sopranos was a great show as well. After that, it goes back to when I was a kid, like Happy Days, great show. Laverne and Shirley, I liked all that. I am the jack of all trades. That's right. Love some TB. New sign. Let's see. Here? No, there. That's new. Actually, that's a Japanese license plate. That's new. And right here, this neon sign here that says Tokyo Brandon, that is a new sign. You're very astute in your observation. So yes, I did get a new Tokyo Brandon sign over the All-Star break. Man, I can't win since the All-Star break though. I'm a little concerned about this. So let's change our luck around here. I'm still #1, but losing a little bit of percent since the All-Star break. I'm not happy about that, and I'm not used to it. I'm used to winning all the time. Let's turn that around. Love some TB. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I will do my best to entertain you and to show you how I do my capping. I do make a sheet that's downloadable at my page at WagerTalk.com. And I project all the starting pitchers' stats for walks, hits, all of those statistics I project. And I also give my rankings for starting pitchers and lineups. I will show you a lot of that today, but you can go to my page at WagerTalk.com and download all that in a PDF format. I also have a free play up right now at my page at WagerTalk.com, and I have a 4% play today in Major League Baseball. So, Fireball. I do love my Fireball, but I won't be drinking it tonight. As a matter of fact, it's 1 a.m. here in Japan. What am I? 54 years old. I'm going to turn 55 this year. So these late nights kind of kicking the crap out of me a little bit. But I'm happy to be here, you guys. What I do is I went to bed around 10 p.m. and then slept for 2 hours. And then I woke up before the show to come on and present this to you. And then after the show, I'm going to go to sleep again because it'll be around 2:30 a.m. my time. So a dedication at its highest level. Yeah, Seinfeld, definitely my favorite show of all time. I watch the reruns. I do have the whole DVD collection. Nobody uses DVDs anymore, but I do have the whole Seinfeld collection, and I watch it sometimes. I can pretty much recite all the lines from almost every episode. So if you show me an episode, I can probably recite almost all the lines. I've watched Seinfeld so much. Great show. Great show. Sopranos was a great show as well. Not quite as good as Seinfeld. The great thing about Seinfeld is they had 3 stories going on at once in one episode, and then they tie all 3 episodes together at the end. It was just a genius show. Your handicapping and education helps immensely. You should charge for this. Well, I charge for some things. Do me a huge favor, though, you guys, that costs you nothing. Go to the replay of this video and leave me a like and a comment. It'll show WagerTalk that you like the video, and they'll let me keep doing this, because I had to beg them to let me do this in the first place. So yeah, I don't know how long they'll let me, but leave a comment and a like, and we'll keep going. I am number 1 in 2025. Let's keep going. Let's get back on the winning streak here. Padres let us down. They certainly did. I did not expect that. So let's take a look at, let's see. Would you guys like to do a KBO first? Thanks. I appreciate all the nice comments, guys. KBO, I won 1 and lost 1 yesterday. What did I win? No, I just lost. I bet an under. I was kind of dumb to bet an under. You know, on the weekends, a lot of games go over because the bullpens are tired and people want to get to the day off. So I was kind of dumb to bet an under in KBO. I bet Lotte Kia first 5, 7, 6.5. I thought it was really high. Apparently it wasn't, because they scored 10. So I lost that bet. I did win SoftBank on the money line in Japanese baseball. So let's look at the KBO real quick, because I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to share my screen. So there's going to be some awkward pauses while I share my screen. Apologize for that. Screen is shared now. Here we go. Okay. So this is the site that I use for the KBO. It's called mykbostats.com. Here are the results from yesterday. I do not read Korean. I do read Japanese. So my Japanese capping, I do it in Japanese. But KBO, I have to use English. So let's take a look. We got, ooh, this looks good. Kia and Lotte. Interesting. So to do my KBO, I go to my sheet right here. I use Google Sheets for my capping, and I have a bunch of Google Sheets here. I use KBO, and this is what my KBO looks like. So what do we have? We have Kia and Lotte, and then we had James Nail, if I can type right. And then we had Nagu on. So this is the overall page right here. And if I go to the next, this is kind of a summary page. So are we live? Okay, you guys can see my screen. Okay, so the first thing I look at is just the overall. So runs per game and runs per game in the last 10. Kia has an advantage over Lotte. Career rank out of 10. James Nail is less than 1, so he's one of the best. And then Nagu on, not so bad. He's 5.5 out of 10. That's not terrible. And then we look at their career whip. James Nail 1.20 and Nagu on 1.6. Career walks rate. So this is the percent of walks they have compared to strikeouts. Nagu on walking almost half the guys he strikes out, where James Nail is walking about 1/4 the guys he strikes out. So the color here indicates that this side has the advantage. So season ERA, James Nail definitely has the better season ERA, and the season whip. James Nail is actually a 103 whip, which is unreal in Korean baseball, because these games can be like pinball machines. They can get up there and score really high. So advantage Kia in almost everything. Bullpen, 7 out of 10, and Lotte has 8 out of 10. So the next thing I look at is how the pitcher performs against the team he's going against. So I look at James Nail, 103 whip on the season. That's really good. Strikeouts 106 to 28, really good. And then we go over here. So guys, sorry, while I'm doing this, I can't read your comments, but I will click back and read your comments in just a minute. So his last few, he gave up 3 in his last start, and then 0-0. He gave up 3 then 1, 1, 3. So basically, he hasn't given up more than 3 runs in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 starts. So he's pretty. You can pretty much count on him not to give up a lot of runs. And then against Lotte, his last start, 6 innings, no earned runs. That's pretty good. Do I see another Lotte here? Yes. He gave up 1 earned in 7. So in his last 9 starts, he hasn't given up more than 3 runs and in a game. And then against Lotte, he gave up 0 in 6 innings and then 1 in 7 innings. So that's pretty much what we can expect from James Nail. He's very good. He's very solid. So Nagu on. Let's take a look at him. Got a 158 whip, very high. And then let's see who he's pitched against. Has he gone against Kia? Yes. He gave up 1 earned in 6. That's pretty good. Let's see any other starts against Kia. He gave up 6 runs in 5. That's terrible. That was at Kia. Okay, just make a mental note. And then another start against Kia, 6 innings, 3 earned here. So let's take a look at his last 5 starts or so. 3 earned, 1, 4. Not as good as Nail, but he does have potential to shut them down. So that's all nice and good. And I'm going to take a look at Pinnacle because that's where the numbers come out first. I don't think they're out on DraftKings yet, and I know most of you can't get Pinnacle perhaps, but yeah, the numbers are out. So if we look at Kia here, yeah, they're minus 175. It's pretty good. That's good value. When I see that, I want to take a look at a -1 and see what that is. Let's see. Does not look like they're offering a -1. But man, that minus 175 looks pretty nice to me. Taking Kia here. Another thing, let's see. I look at runs scores. So the team total for Kia is 5. Team total for Lotte is 3.5. I don't think they'll get 3.5, but that's a little low. If they were 4.5, I would look at it under there. And then in the first half, team total 1.5 for Lotte. That looks a little nice at plus money. So those are the ways I'll go. Wow, I might go Kia minus 175 there. Okay, give me a minute. I'm going to unshare my screen. Get back to, there we go. I'm back. Do you enjoy what I'm doing here? That's kind of a look into how I do my capping. Storming Kansas City. Okay, great. KBO, yes. Royals game, Cubs game. Brandon, is it dumb to parlay your KBO plays when you put them out? Is it dumb to parlay my KBO plays? Well, it's only dumb if I have a losing record. And yeah, I do have a losing record parlaying my KBO plays. So I'm not going to parlay them for the time being because I would consider that to be dumb. Doing something that's not successful. I actually will show you my record in just a moment in KBO and in other ones. Good morning, my brother Craig. Good morning to you too. Can we have a Seinfeld fill in the blank quote off? Do you really think you can beat me? Really? I don't know about that. We'll see. I'm a very dedicated Seinfeld fan, and I'm very old. I was actually watching Seinfeld when it was out. And from what, 93 to 98, was it? Around there? Yeah, I was watching Seinfeld, the live shows on Thursdays when it came out. But anyway, let me share my screen one more time. I'm going to show you my results. There we go. So, wow, Kia minus 175 is very, very tempting. I'm going to jump on that, I think. So if I go here, I can see my results down here. Let's see. Here are my Major League Baseball results for 2025. And I break it down by type of bet. Like spread means -1 or -1.5. Those are winning quite well. And then game totals under. I'm 20-4. And game totals under. It's pretty good. So let's take a look at the KBO. My straight up money lines are 24 and 18. It's 57%. It's okay. Not terrible. My parlays in the KBO, 7-4, which means when I put 2 together, it's not bad. And my totals 3-2, team totals under 5-0. It's pretty good. My spreads, which means -1 or -1.5, are 21 and 12. And then I break it down by odds here. So that Kia was -175. I'm 1-2 in the range of 170 in my KVO plays. It's not a very big sample size. I do win a lot of -140, -150s. So let's just show you, to break it down a little bit. Let's look at my major league record a little further. Money line, K props, innings props. So my K props are terrible, 43%, not good. My total overs for the game, 2 and 4, terrible. Team totals 14 and 14, that's not winning money. My team total under 13 and 10, maybe breaking even. My walks 19-15, not bad. Spread, which means -1 or -1.5, are 34 and 21. That's making some good money. My very profitable ones are anything 160 or worse, obviously. And then I break Major League Baseball. I break it down by month. So my July is 37 and 42. A little bit of a losing streak since the All-Star break, but hopefully we can turn that around starting today. I do have a 4% play out in Major League Baseball. There we go. I do have a 4% play out in Major League Baseball today. Please grab that and also download my PDF where I do all my pitcher projections and all of my rankings for bullpens and lineups. Afternoon, everyone. Dang LOL. What's dang? What's up, guys? Pinnacle voluntarily withdrew from the U.S. market following the passage of the Unlawful Internet Gaming Enforcement Act, and since have maintained a policy of not accepting customers. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true, because I was actually using Pinnacle from Japan for a little bit through a VPN. Illegal. No, I did not. I know a friend who did that. So anyways, I know someone who had an account there as of last year. So I don't know if they're not receiving customers or not, but I heard that they were very difficult to get your money out of. So Kia versus Lotte, how are both bullpens doing? I broke that down just a minute ago. That makes sense. Yeah. But when I researched, that's what I pulled up. Maybe in the last year or so, they've refused overseas customers as well. But I heard from a friend that they had an account there and they were gambling on it, but they couldn't get their money out, so they stopped. Yeah, Pinnacle releases their numbers pretty much first, and then everyone either copies it or uses that as kind of an arrow or a median as to which way to go on their bets. You hear the term sharp and square a lot. A lot of people overuse the term sharp. Sharp doesn't mean someone who wins a lot. Sharp means somebody whose bets the casino will use their bets to change their lines. So the books are just like you and me. They'll put a line up there and they don't know for sure if it's good or not. And if someone that they know is a very good gambler puts money on one side or the other, the casino will take their money, and in return they'll use that information to change their line. That's what sharp means. And none of us are exactly sharp. None of us are placing bets and changing lines. Although in the Japanese and the Korean, when I put out a 5% play, the line does move after I put that play out. I think people buy it and then bet it, and the lines move. So I don't know. I guess I could call myself sharp because of that. So let's do some Major League Baseball capping. That's what most of you are probably here for. So let's talk about the Padres plus 1.5 at -160. So let's take a look. I'm going to share my screen with a book I use the word sharp to describe their lines being consistent, hard to beat. That's not what sharp actually means, but that's okay. Steve, you can use that. I mean, sharp basically means a smart bettor, right? But technically it means a bettor or a group of bettors, a syndicate, so to speak, that the casino allows them to bet, and in return limits their bet, but also uses that information to change their line. That's technically what sharp means. So, okay, cool. You're the man, Steve. I wasn't putting you down or anything. I was just defining the term there. So minus 160 is chalked. Actually, if it's good value, it's not chalked at all. It's a good price, actually. 160, it's not that bad at all. When I feel like something is a bad line, I would say like when you get to the 180 area, then I start thinking about parlaying things. But 160 is not a bad price at all. Let's take a look though. So it's only a bad price or a good price depending on what you're buying. In other words, $1,000 is kind of a lot of money, but if you're going to buy a notebook for $1,000, yeah, that's kind of a ridiculous price. But if you're going to buy a Jaguar for $1,000, is a really good price. So it's all relative to what you're buying. Let's take a look at Major League Baseball. So I won't be able to read your comments for a minute because I am the host, I am the producer, I'm all of that stuff. So give me a minute here to share the window. So sad about Ozzy's passing. Ozzy was one of my favorites. Kiss was my favorite. I used to have all my Kiss dolls up here, but now I've changed it to Lady Killers. So, and over here is Japanese anime Evangelion figures. But yeah, Ozzy passed away. I actually cried for a minute or two watching did you see the video that his daughter posted like the day before he died or something? She said, "Good morning, Dad." And he looks up, "Good morning." He was a little out of it, but he was always like that drunk uncle, you know. He had kind of no clue what was going on, but he was a very lovable guy, very kind man too. Yeah, Hulk Hogan passed away too. I was never a wrestling guy though. I was definitely a heavy metal guy, but yeah, Ozzy. Got my first album in 1980. I was probably 9 years old. I got Blizzard of Oz, loved it. Sabbath was a little bit before my time because I was born in 1970. But obviously, I liked Black Sabbath after I started liking Ozzy. Saw Ozzy live twice. Saw Kiss live 7 times and twice here in Japan. So, yeah, big Kiss fan, big Ozzy fan. I remember in high school, I had the album Diary of a Madman, and I couldn't sleep one night. And I was looking at the album, and I saw he had Ozzy tattooed on his finger. So I took marker and I wrote Ozzy on my finger and went to school like that the next day. But yeah, Ozzy was great. Drunk Uncle Skid on Saturday Night Live. It was Ozzy on Saturday Night Live. I didn't know that. I will take a look. So let's take a look at the Padres today. Are the Padres and Cubs good for runs today? Someone mentioned Padres minus 1.5. So let's take a look at the Padres. I'm going to share my screen. Won't be able to see your comments for a minute. So bear with me for a minute. A little awkward pause while I'm sharing the screen here. Are we shared? Yes. Okay. So let's take a look. The first thing I do is go to ESPN, check the matchups. So we got the Padres going against Cardinals. So we got Randy Vasquez and Matthew Liberatore. So the first thing I do is I go to my stats here and I will input. No, that's my results. I'll take San Diego Padres and St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals are very up and down. When I bet them, I lose, and when I bet against them, I lose. So Liberatore against Randy Vasquez, right? So let's see what we got. Randy Vasquez, I'm not pulling up a value for his starting pitcher. It says it's blank. So usually what that means is I don't have enough data for him in the last 30 days. So we're going to have to overlook that. Matthew Liberatore, I got him ranked 23 out of 30. So I curve my starting pitchers on a curve of 30 so I can compare them to the bullpens and the batting. Even though Randy Vasquez doesn't show up in my ranking here, I can see here that he is walking more guys than he's striking out, which is alarming. That's what this balls to strikeout ratio means. It means he's striking, or he's walking more guys than he's striking out. And Matthew Liberatore is striking out, or he's walking more than 50% of the guys that he's striking out, which is bad. Generally, I like this to be between 30 and 40%. Bullpens, they're both mediocre in current form. 15, right around 15, 14 out of 30. Bullpen, St. Louis has a pretty big advantage here. Next thing I'm going to look at is how do they perform against each other. So I take the starting pitchers and up here, Randy Vasquez versus St. Louis. So first of all, he has a 141 whip, which is kind of alarming. And he's walking more guys than he's striking out. So we don't have a big sample size against the Cardinals for Randy Vasquez. Only 15 batters, 33 average, and an 878 OPS. So not a big enough sample size. So let's go to his game log and see what he's been doing lately. He gave up 1 run in 4 innings, 2 runs in 4 innings, and 2 runs in 6. So his last 3 starts, pretty good. Against decent competition, Miami hitting the ball okay. Arizona has some pretty decent batters, and Texas is hitting the ball pretty good lately. So I'm a little bit impressed by his last 3 starts, although I don't think he's a good pitcher. Let's go back further. 4 earned, 2 earned, 3 earned. So yeah, his last 5, 6 starts, he's been pretty solid. Reds, Royals, and Dodgers. So he's been fairly solid against some good competition. Let's see what Matthew Liberatore is doing against the Padres. Let's see. He has 14 sample size, so that's not big enough. I like it to be at least 30. But in that small sample size, 214 average against and an 812 OPS. Are we live? Yeah, okay. So let's see if anyone's given him trouble. No, not in particular. And then let's look at his game log, his last few starts. He's given up 6 earned runs against Atlanta, 2 earned against Chicago, 0, 2, 2 against Cleveland, Chicago, and the White Sox. So he's had a pretty decent start. He's had a pretty decent time against his last 5 starts, except against Atlanta. He was pretty bad. So I told you guys you can download my sheet. This is what it looks like. Boom. So let's look at Matthew Liberatore. Oh, they're not on here. Well, I did put Matthew Liberatore here. So these are his expected numbers against the Padres. But like I said, the sample size is not really that big. So I'm going to use this team comparison here. Cardinals have a small advantage here. But I mean, they're pretty equal everywhere except bullpen. San Diego's bullpen is underperforming, but they do have a lot of talent. So looking at this, to answer your question, I would say, yeah, plus 1.5 might be some decent value on San Diego's. I think they could win this game. Although St. Louis is a very inconsistent team, so I don't really know what to expect from them. So kind of dangerous, but yes, if I were to bet that game, I do like the San Diego side more than the Cardinal side, but it's hard to back Randy Vasquez. You'd lean over. I don't know what the over is. Is it 8? Let's take a look. I'm going to use Pinnacle because I'm not on a VPN right now. And if I were to switch over to a VPN, DraftKings won't allow access to anyone overseas. So I have to use a VPN to look at DraftKings. And if I switch to VPN right now, it's going to cut you guys off because my internet will go off and click back on when I use a VPN. So second, let's see where the San Diego is. Where are they? Padres, here we go. It's 9. It's a little bit high. Let's see. They're both hitting kind of mediocre, and they both have kind of mediocre or good bullpens. So I don't know. 9 seems a little high to me. Yep. So 9 seems a little high to me. Might not do that. But hey, it's a Sunday. The bullpens are not rested and they're spent on Sundays. So you get past the DraftKings geolocation. Well, if I use a VPN and say I'm in Canada, I can access DraftKings with no problem. I guess that's the answer to your question. I don't know what geolocation is, but VPNs do the trick. Let's see what the comments are. San Diego past couple of years been really good on the road. For some reason, they can't win on the road. Let me take a look. What are they? 24-31. Yeah, not a good road record. Cardinals are 31-20 at home. But if you get that plus 1.5 run, might be a decent play. Let's see. Any other comments, guys? Dodgers are starting to win now. That's nice. Cubs. Good comment. You're not the first one to ask for the Cubs. And Wolf, I see you there. New York Yankees. I will do the New York Yankees and the Cubs right now. I'll share my screen. But Gavin Williams walks, I see someone asked. So we'll do the Cubs, the Yankees, and Gavin Williams walks. I'll show you how I do my walks. So I'm going to share the screen one more time. Won't be able to read your comments while I'm sharing the screen, unless you want to look at my view, which is this, which is an endless view of this. So I might click back to this to check your comments real quick. But what do we got? Cubs, Yankees, and Gavin Williams. Well, Gavin Williams. Is that a double header? Because I see Tanner Bybee starting for them. It's double header. Okay, Gavin Williams. Let me do the Gavin Williams walks real quick. I'll show you how I do that because it's very simple. I have a tab called walks here. And then I put in Gavin Williams. And then I put in Kansas City and see what I get. Gavin Williams is walking 3 per game. Kansas City's walking 2.2 per game. So it's a little over. If you could get a 1.5, I think I would go over on his walks there. If it's 2.5, I would not do it. So hopefully that answers your question on the Gavin Williams walks. And right here, I have my chronic walker list. Let's go over that real quick. Lance McCullers, he's injured right now. Hayden Birdsong, Gavin Williams, those are my top 3 culprits for walking. Sean Burke and Jack Leiter. Got Chase Dolander, Jack Chanowitz, Jose Soriano, Randy Vasquez, Will Warren. We got Grant Holmes and Eric Fetty. Let's take a look at Randy Vasquez real quick. Since we just did that game. Randy Vasquez against St. Louis. He walks 2.4 a game and St. Louis walks 2.9. It comes to 2.7. If Randy Vasquez is 1.5, yeah, I might take that over on his walks as well. Hopefully that answers your question. Let's do that Cubs. Someone asked for the Cubs, right? Cubs, Chicago. And then we'll do the Yankees and I'll unshare the screen again. So first thing I do is go over here. Who are the Cubs playing? They're playing the White Sox. Who's pitching? We got Horton versus Savale. And wow, White Sox put a beating on the Cubs yesterday. And look, this is why. I mean, look, I got the White Sox hitting number 5 in all of MLB right now. I got the Cubs hitting 18, 19. So bullpen. I got the White Sox ranked 13, Cubs ranked 16. And then starting pitcher today, Horton, very average at 15. And then Savale, very below average, almost 30. He's 25 out of 30. So that's how I see the teams match up. Like I said, next thing I do is I'm going to look at how they look against each other. Jade Horton against the White Sox. We have a sample size of 12, so it's not very big, but they have tagged him. 133 OPS. Wow. But, you know, it's a small sample size. So who's done the damage? Josh Rojas has 2 for 2. Miguel Vargas, 2 for 2. Vargas, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. So let's take a look at Vargas's stats. So I take a look at recent stats because I want to see, let's see, he's got 3 hits against the Cubs yesterday, 2 hits the day before that. So Vargas's hits, runs, RBIs might be a play here, guys. But he's only got a 229 average with a 716 OPS. That's not very good. but might be something to look at. And then let's see how Savale does against the Cubs. Good sample size, 47 at bats here. And he's got a 191 average against and a 574 OPS. That's really good. I look at OPS, I take 750 as the Mendoza line. So if anything, I'd go back to the White Sox here today. I like how they're performing against, I like how Savale performs against these Cubs, although I have him ranked really low in the pitching. I think his head-to-head numbers against the Cubs can make up for that 24 there. And you see, I have the White Sox ahead in every other category. Let's take one more look at Horton's recent starts. So I like to look at his game log to see what kind of form he's in. 5 innings, no earned against Boston. 4 innings, 4 earned against the Twins, and then 7 innings, no. So he's pretty good in his last 3 starts. Before that, Houston roughed him up. So he does have a tendency to get roughed up on the road. So his last 2 road starts, he got crushed. Astros and Twins. So are they on the road this game? Yes. So Horton could get roughed up here. And I love Savale's numbers against the Cubs. So if I were to go anywhere in this game, I'd go White Sox again. What number do we have for the White Sox? Look. And if it's really good, yeah, plus 167. Are you kidding me? Might even take a White Sox -1 here just to get a really good number. Look at that. Look at that. Plus 257 for White Sox -1. That's a really nice bet there, I think, in my opinion. So that's how I would go there. Let me take a look at your comments. Any comments while I'm doing this, guys? I'll check in. Sometimes my sound comes off. Right TB. What do you mean, right TB? Like the White Sox here? Well, still, though, worth a straight bet. It's worth a straight bet. Absolutely. I'm on the over. Let's see. He was left-handed. It doesn't matter if he's left-handed or not, guys. So a lot of... I see a lot of comments like this, and they're not good versus lefties. They're not good versus righties and stuff. Doesn't really matter, because that's like saying they're not good against Max Fried. Who cares? Max Fried's not pitching today, so who cares? I never look at righties, lefties. I never look at umpires. I never look at the wind and all that stuff. I know some cappers do, but I don't care how they do against lefties and righties. I only care how they do against Savale. That's the only thing that matters, whether Savale's left-handed or right-handed. I don't care. How they do against him is, to me, what matters. You think it matters? That's fine. I mean, if you find success that way, that's fine. But if they're facing a right-handed pitcher today, and how they do against lefties, righties, doesn't matter. It matters how they do against the guy they're facing today. Oh yeah, but Max Fried's left-handed. Doesn't matter. They're not facing Max Fried today. So, do I have a stylist? No. I do all this myself. 54-year-old old man does his shopping alone. I get some of my stuff at thrift shops. Thrift shops in Japan are pretty cool, and there's one near my house actually. I live in the between Yokohama and Tokyo area. And I do a lot of my shopping at the thrift shop. I buy on eBay. There's a shirt brand called Premier with an E at the end. If you type Premier shirt into eBay, Premier with an E on the end, you'll see a lot of my shirts on eBay if you go there. That's where I get a lot of them. So they're kind of expensive. They're like $40 a shirt, but I don't care. Anyways, a lot of things I don't care about. So I'm kind of like the world is round, we'll get there kind of guy. Phillies, Yankees TV. Yes, we're going to do that next. Phillies, Yankees. So no, I never always wanted to check out Tokyo. Yeah, come to Tokyo. It's pretty cool. From where I'm at, takes me, I don't know, 30 minutes to get to the city of Tokyo. I live in kind of a suburb between Yokohama and Tokyo. So Yanks. let's do the Yankees game. Here we go. So I just showed you how I do my games. The first thing I do is I look at matchup. And yes, Judge, someone pointed out Judge is not going to be playing today. I heard that as well. So we got Phillies, Yankees. We got Rangers, Suarez against Stroman. So, you know, Philadelphia, I picked the Yankees yesterday, although I didn't make it an official play. But man, they can't field. Marcus Stroman. The Yankees, they're so error prone. It's sad. And they have a really bad manager. So those two things against them, they kind of go into every game at a disadvantage because their manager is so bad and their fielding is so bad. They continue to leave their shortstop at shortstop, although he can't throw, he can't field, he can't do anything. Just a bad team with a lot of talent is how I look at the Yankees. So here we go. Ranger Suarez. So I don't have enough numbers on Marcus Stroman to rank him. But Ranger Suarez, I have him ranked 10 out of 30 on a curve of 30. Phillies definitely have a bullpen advantage, and the hitting is basically equal. Small advantage to the Yankees, but Judge is out, so I would take that advantage away from them. Take a look at how the starting pitchers do. So advantage Phillies so far, as far as I'm concerned. And then how does Ranger Suarez perform against the Yankees? Let's see. On a 54 at bat sample, they tag him pretty good. He's got a 315 average against and an 846 OPS against. Anything over 75 is considered bad, in my opinion. So he's been tagged. Let's see how he does on the road, because this matters. Home, he's got a 415 average, and on the road, he's got a 147 average, which is really good in 49 innings. So that's kind of a dichotomy there. He's bad against these batters, but his road record's really good. So who's doing the damage against him? Let's take a look. Who's doing the damage? Cody Bellinger doing a little damage. And Aaron Judge only has one at bat, but he might not be playing today. Trent Grisham and Cody Bellinger. That's not that much damage, though. 2 home runs in 54 at bat. That's not that bad at all. Let's see why these numbers are so bad. Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Trent Grisham, and Ryan McMahon. So all of these guys have potential to hit Ranger Suarez today. Although Ranger Suarez, gold on the road. Take a look at Stroman, although I don't have his rank because he doesn't have enough at bats. Take a look how he does against the Yankees. 173 average against in 139 at bats against. 458. Man, that's stellar. He's got a stellar record against them. Let's see his splits, home road splits. Is he good on the road or at home? At home, he's got a 6+ ERA in 15 innings. So his sample size is not really big enough for me to put a lot of credence into that number. If anything, I would go I would go Phillies here. But Phillies minus 130, not a bad number. Let's take a look over here. So sorry, guys, if this is boring, but I'm just showing you how I do my capping. This is how I do it. This is what I look at, and this is how I do it. So let's see, where are the Yankees, Phillies? Here we go. 4.5 for the Phillies. That's a little high. Might look at an under there, but I really don't like to do unders on a Sunday or Saturday on a weekend. So might stay off of that. Yankees over 3.5. I would not do that because Phillies bullpen is playing pretty well and Judge might not be in the lineup. So yeah, I probably wouldn't play this game if I know the truth. So let me unshare the screen real quick. Here I am back. So I covered all the guys that you wanted to cover. Let's do some more games. Don't trip. Don't trip. Your computer is why I'm here. I don't know what you mean by that. The computer is why I'm here. You haven't seen my computer, but what VPN do I use? I have a VPN called Host Monster. Or no, sorry. Something Monster. Hang on. I'll tell you. Wait. Am I sharing my screen right now? No. So I can go. Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Cyber Ghost is the VPN that I use. It's called Cyber Ghost. Judges out today. Yes, we know this game's going to be 3-1. I kind of won't argue with you on that, Danzo. Looks like an under to me too, but I really don't like to take an under on the weekend with the bullpens spent. And my Ranger Suarez numbers are really conflicting as far as his stats against them, and his road stats are really good. So, first game, they have a doubleheader today. Yeah, you're talking about the Guardians, right? Yeah. The bullpen is taxed too. Yes, correct. Bullpen is taxed. Not boring TV. Love your breakdowns and analysis. I appreciate that. Let's see. We got 400, almost 500 people watching live. I appreciate you guys. Go to my page at WagerTalk.com. Download my pitcher projections for today. I have all the starting pitchers there. I project their hits, their walks, their everything. Outs recorded, strikeouts, everything. And I also have a 4% play in Major League Baseball today. So let's see. So including X, Twitter X, YouTube, we got almost 500 people watching, and I think that will increase before the day is over. I usually talk about some personal stuff, so if you guys have any personal questions, I don't mind talking about that as well. I recently redid my shelf behind me, so I got Harley Quinn back there. I got Halloween Killer Girl. I have this fascination with women, with beauty murderers for some reason. I have the Evangelion 3 girls there. I have tons of figures, you guys. I'm not going to like scan my whole room here, but I have a shelf under here that you can't see. And on that shelf, I have a lot of Kiss figures. I have a new set of Evangelion in regular clothes. What else do I have down there? Catwoman. I have several Catwomen. And then, I have Avengers girl. What's her name? Scarlett Johansson. Got lots of figures and stuff. So there we go. Why did you move to Japan? Kind of a long story. Thanks for the question, Chris. When I was in college, I had to pick a foreign language because originally my major was architecture. I had to pick a language. I was at the University of Arizona. Spanish was the most popular language, and then French and German, because that's similar to English. I guess people think it's easy, so they take those languages. So they were full. University of Arizona has 51,000 students, and it was a call-in. You had to call in and touch tone to register for your classes at 8 o'clock in the morning. Everyone calls in. It's like calling a radio station. It's busy. Redial. And by the time I called in, the only foreign languages that were open were Portuguese, Chinese, and Japanese. So I took out a book or something. I looked up Japanese, Chinese, and Japanese looked easier. So I picked Japanese, started studying Japanese, changed my major to Japanese. So my major is Japanese literature, politics, and language. So I love Japanese literature. I'm reading 2 Japanese books right now. I love Japanese authors. They're really good. My favorite author is an author you've never heard of called Otsuichi. He's my favorite author. I also like Akutagawa. Maybe you've heard of him. He's probably Japan's best author of all time. He went mentally ill, went crazy, but the books he wrote when he was mentally ill, really good books. So I came to Japan, did a homestay from the University of Arizona, met my host family, fell in love with it, fell in love with the society, and I just came out here after I graduated. Started working, got my own place, got married, and ever since then, my roots grew in Japan, and I've never left. So that was 1993 when I came to Japan originally. I've been here more than 30 years. Yeah, that's my story. Let's see. You guys giving me a lot of comments. Dongo been paying attention this week. I don't know what that means. 35. I don't know what that means either because I missed the conversation while I was talking. I'm not a multitasker, guys. So TV, thank you for your thoughts and insights on Kikuchi and his control problems. Made a boatload of cash on his walks. Thank you. Yes, no problem. He was on my chronic walker list, but he's not anymore. Game starts in 20 minutes. I can see 3 runs scored in the first inning. Are you talking about the Yankees game? Hang on, let me see. Yeah, okay. Yankees game starts first. So good thing I covered it. Do we trust Fox Sports? I don't know. Did you say you're 54? Yes, I am 54 years old. And a lot of people ask me why I wear glasses. This is what I look like with no glasses on. I am 54 years old, but the reason I wear glasses is because I have to put a spotlight on. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't really want a spotlight in my eyes at 2 o'clock in the morning, so that's why I do it. Cheers, TB. Thank you. What's your favorite sport after baseball? I like football, although I don't cap football. But I'm in Japan, so live football, especially college football, like ESPN Game Day and stuff, that starts like 2 o'clock in the morning my time, right about now. So on certain days, if I'm up to it, I will wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and watch football live. I've found a couple ways. Overseas, we have easier access. I can get a TV plan to watch all the college football and all the NFL football. Much easier overseas than it is in America. So I'll wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and watch football while I'm laying down in bed on my phone. So yeah, not a healthy lifestyle, but I love football. Love football. I just don't cap it because, to be honest, football, the numbers are very difficult to beat. And it's just a very difficult sport to beat because there's no one-on-one in football. It's all team. Everything's based on a team. So that's why I don't do football. Baseball is always one-on-one. You always have one pitcher against one batter, always. So that's what I love about baseball. I used to be a bit MLB baseball scout, and I use these same numbers that I used when I was a scout. So you guys are talking about yesterday has nothing to do with today. That's called recency bias, playa. Kind of. You're kind of right. But if you notice, see, I used to think like you, Joshua. I used to think exactly like you, but people have actually opened my eyes to some things that happen that are a little more than coincidence. For example, if a team wins the first 2 games of a 3-game series, they almost always lose the 3rd game. And it's very hard to sweep. Very hard to sweep. So I'm starting to pay a little more attention to that. I used to think like you, though. Yesterday's game has nothing to do with today. But yeah, I'm starting to change. We have to evolve, you guys. You can't always just hold the same opinion. New information comes in all the time, and you got to evolve to it. So I'm evolving. I'm not quite as stubborn as I used to be. Diary of a Geisha. Let's see. No, I've never read that book, Daniel. Danzo. Never read that. But there's the author Akutagawa. Really good books. I'm sure he has English translated books. I read the Japanese versions because I don't trust the translated version. I mean, I could translate the book myself if I wanted to, so I don't read translated versions. But first game of a doubleheader, Cleveland, Kansas City, Michael Waka, over 17.5 outs. What do you think? Let's share the screen again. And I've got his stats right here. Waka. Do I? Yeah, Waka right here. I project him at 16.8 outs. So I definitely would not go over 17.5. I project his strikeouts at 4.6. And actually, in his career, he's about 4.6 strikeouts against this team. So I would go under 5.5 strikeouts. It's 4.5. I wouldn't bet the strikeout. So yeah, those are my numbers for Waka. Back to your questions. Any other questions? Guardians versus Royals game total. Guardians versus Royals game total. Let's see. We got Waka against Waka against Williams, right? Let's take a look. I don't project actual numbers for game totals. I do that out of my head. So let's see. Gavin Williams against Waka. So batting, they're both batting pretty well. Kansas City's bullpen is in bad shape right now. Cleveland's bullpen is in pretty good shape, and starting pitchers have them pretty equal. So the next thing I would look at here would be, how do they perform against each other? Gavin Williams against the Royals. Does he have any indicators? 78 at bats. So yes, we can trust 231 average against and a 572 OPS. I would say Gavin Williams has pretty good numbers against the Royals. Let's take a look at Michael Wacha against the Guardians. 86 at bats against. Yes, we can trust this number. 233 average against and a 660. So both of them have really good numbers against the other team. So I would bump these ratings up. I would either take Cleveland here or Kansas City's team total under. What are we getting in Kansas City's team total under? The game not available or game one here? I'm not seeing. Oh, here we go. Sorry. 9 seems really high to me. But then again, I don't like to bet overs on a weekend. Let's take a look at Kansas City's team total. Kansas City under 4.5. I think that might be a good play. Reason being is because Gavin Williams has held them down in his career. This game is on the road. Let's see if Gavin Williams is a bad road pitcher. Let's just take a look at it. Away. He's got a 417 average away in 45 innings. So he is kind of a bad road pitcher. I wouldn't play it. I want everything to kind of point in the same direction. But if anything, I'd take a Kansas City Royal team total under maybe. But the fact that Gavin Williams has a high ERA on the road probably will stay off it. Are you enjoying this insight, you guys? Is that helpful, showing you kind of how I approach games? Is this interesting for you? I hope it is. Go to the replay of this video, leave a comment and a like. It'll show WagerTalk that you like what I'm doing. I got my Fireball sign over there, you can see. I'm not drinking Fireball on air anymore. No comment on that. No emotional, it's only business. No emotional connection. Yeah, you can't be a fan when you're betting sports. You got to just separate yourself. You love the value comments. Okay. That's awesome analysis. Thank you. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys are enjoying that. Which game on the slate do you think scores the most runs? Well, I'd have to go in and compare them all one by one, but just looking at the slate, I would think Rockies Orioles would definitely be a high scoring game. We have two lineups that are hitting really well, and Senzatella is a terrible pitcher. So I just answered you. I think anything over, I think the Colorado Rockies team total was 3.5. Seems very low, although Trevor Rogers has decent numbers so far. TBO, the no fireball thing is BS. Okay, I agree. We can gamble, but we can't drink. Have to be very serious. Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned it. They told me not to mention. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about Fireball. Appreciate you guys and the positive comments. Love it. Thank you. Is 17.5. Gavin Williams, 17.5 on the outs. Let me take a look what I have and I'll share it with you. Gavin Williams, I'm projecting him 16.3. So if anything, I would do an under. for that, but it's not a big enough discrepancy for me to bet it. So I might not do that. You expect the Tigers to continue to falter and even possibly choke the division away? Absolutely. I know a lot of people like the Tigers out there, but yeah, here, I'll share my screen with you and I'll show you what I have with the Tigers. So Detroit Tigers. So you can see right here, I have their batting ranked 29 out of 30, and I have their bullpen ranked 11. Now, today they have Scooble going. So obviously he's ranked 2 out of 30. Yeah. And actually on my starting pitcher ranks, you can see here, I have Scooble ranked number 2 or number 1. So yeah, they have a definite advantage in starting pitching. But matter of fact, who are they facing and who are they pitching? I'll just cap another game for you guys while we're here. And I'll show you how I do. I've been successful doing hits, runs, RBIs. I'll explain that to you in just a minute. We got the Blue Jays and Gaussman, right? Nobody's on more fire than the Blue Jays right now. And Gaussman, yeah, I got him ranked 14 out of 30, but he has really good stats against the Tigers. I know this because I already looked it up. Take a look at Gaussman and Scooble in their head-to-head against the team they're facing today. So Gaussman against the Tigers, 229 average against with a 594 OPS and 96 at-bats. That's amazing. But they are on the road. So how does he go on the road? I do look at road home splits. So he's 410 on the road, 410 average. That's not bad. And Scooble against the Toronto Blue Jays, 236 and 601. So he's got good numbers too. So this game, I would look at an under in this game, but I'm sure the book is looking at an under too. So we're not going to get a good number, right? Right. So the book has it at 7. I would think about a Detroit Tigers team total under here mainly because of this right here, this 29 here. That's really bad. And Blue Jays bullpen doing well. Gaussman has great stats against them. So a Detroit Tiger team total under. I would actually, DraftKings lets you alt these up. So I would actually go to 4.5 here at like -160 or something. And I would bet that under. The only thing that worries me about unders is the fact that it's a weekend and scores tend to be high on the weekends. So you hate him. Who do you hate? Are we talking about Waka? Oh yeah, Waka. Okay. Well, he doesn't actually suck, but Adam Trigger got hot on your total bases about your KBO comment about them being more like a minor league. I wanted to hear more about why you think KBO is only minor league. Because they can't field. They're like the Bad News Bears when it comes to fielding. 5 errors a game. They really can't pitch. They have an upper echelon of players who might make AAA. They might have one player who could make Major League Baseball. So in my opinion, KBO is at least 3 ranks below Japanese baseball. Japanese baseball is a solid AAA league. They got at least 5 pitchers right now who could pitch in Major League Baseball. KBO does not. So, and if you look at how Japan and Korea play against each other in international competition, Japan slings Korea around like a 6-year-old boy playing against his father. So KBO is single A at best. I mean, I think American 18-year-olds could beat KBO teams. So that's why. If you want, and I scouted the KBO. I went to Korea and scouted. I scout Japanese baseball. I did this for 10 years. I think Adam's point was he thinks that the single A, double A players are a higher level than KBO. I strongly disagree. KBO players are terrible. I think American high school teams might compete with KBO, to be honest. So that's just my opinion. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. I got a little upset when he said my opinion is asinine because I've been doing this longer than him. And yeah, I was a little upset about that. But water under the bridge. Everything's cool. He's all right. I'm all right. We're all good. And we're still doing our show together. So everything's good. Fading Scooble for the price. I don't know about fading Scooble. I think what you should do is find where you can get an advantage. The books are still kind of pricing the Tigers like they're still good, and they're not. So a Tigers team total under, I think, would be the way to go on there. Scooble gets lit up today. I don't know about that. He's got good stats against Toronto. I don't know if he's going to get lit up or not. Okay, so we're at the top of the hour. We've been doing this for an hour. I'm going to keep going, though, because I'm in the mood. It's 2 a.m. here in Japan, but I'm not ready to go to bed yet. So let's keep going. Yes, my asinine comments. Well, I don't know if he actually meant that. Later on, he said he respects my opinion and stuff. So I'm okay with it. I'm a Michigander. I appreciate your breakdown to help avoid my bias. Yeah, you can't bet as a fan, guys. You got to separate it. As a matter of fact, just make a rule. Don't bet for or against your favorite team. I have favorite teams too, but you know, I'm from Arizona, so I cheer. I hope the Diamondbacks do well, but I'm not really a big fan. In college, I'm a big fan. Anything Arizona, I'm full on 100% fan because that's my school. Love them in football, love them in baseball, love them in basketball. So, as a matter of fact, when I was at the University of Arizona, Brian Williams was there, Sean Elliott was there, Steve Kerr was there. We had a really good team back then. And I went to some of those games at McHale Center. So, yeah, those were some good days at Arizona. I was there between 89 and 92. So yeah, the Steve Kerr, Sean Elliott days, those were fun. Brian Williams. Yeah, we had a lot of good teams back then. So let's see. You the Man TV, let's effing go. Yes, let's do it. Let's do some more games, guys, because that's why you're here, right? Pepio over under 16.5. Let me share the screen with you and show you what I got on Ryan Pepio today. Let's first of all see who he's playing and what we got here. Pepio. Oh, unfortunately, the sample size for him against these batters is not big enough. Only 5 at-bats against. But I'll show you my newsletter here. No, he's not in my newsletter. So I'm not going to play him because there's not a big enough sample size. What I would do if you're dying to play him, take a look at how he does in his last few games. We're under 16.5, right? So let's see. 6 innings is 18, right? 18, 18, 18, 18. So his last 3 starts, he's solidly gone over 16.5. He's on the road today. So let's see how he does on the road. On the road, he's got an 8.38 batting average against. That's not bad at all. So I would say over that 16.5 there. I would say over 16.5. I might not bet it though. I'll rally to hit 2 bombs today. I don't bet home run props. I think they're sucker bets. Number one, any bet that doesn't allow you to bet the no is pretty much a sucker bet. And also, taking Ohtani as an example, he hits a home run about 1 every 4 games. So you should be getting plus 400 to plus 500 for Ohtani props, and you don't get that. So home run bets, you just get bad prices, and you can bet them for fun, but in the long run, you're going to lose money because you get bad prices for what you're betting, So it's similar to flipping a coin, right? You should get plus 100 for heads or tails, but it would be like me and you flipping a coin, and I only give you minus 150 for heads or tails. We do that 1,000 times, you're going to go broke. So, fun question. I like fun questions. Who's asking me a fun question? Dayton Munden. Fun question. What's better? Japanese food in Japan or Mexican food in Arizona? Hands down, Mexican food in Arizona. That's just my opinion, though. I actually don't really like Japanese food, even though I live in Japan for 30 years. I love Mexican food, the beans, the cheese crisp, the quesadillas, everything, tacos. I love. As a matter of fact, when I fly in to Arizona, my next trip to Arizona is going to be September 18th or 14th. September 14th, I'm going to fly into Arizona. I usually have my mom come get me at the airport, or I rent a car. But the first thing I do is I go to a Mexican food restaurant and eat Mexican food. Honestly, thanks for this question. The first thing I do when I arrive in Phoenix is I go to a Mexican restaurant and eat Mexican food, because Mexican food in Japan is terrible. But yeah, I'm sure the Japanese food here is great, but I don't eat sushi. I don't eat sashimi. I do like okonomiyaki, which is like a Japanese pancake, but I don't like raw food. So, yeah. Isn't that the campus they film Revenge of the Nerds? I believe it is. Arizona, yeah. I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. Hook us up on a game that you feel good about? Sure. What is a game I feel good about? Let me look down the slate here, and I'll give you a game I feel good about. Well, I feel good about the Tigers team total under, if you can get a 4.5 there. I feel good about the Orioles going against San Zatella. What else? White Sox could seriously, if you could get a plus 2.5 with the White Sox, that would be a good bet, I think. The Mitchell Parker versus Joe Ryan. Twins look good there, but it's not a good number. Crochet against the Dodgers. Tough one. Yeah, there's not a lot to feel really, really, really good about. I loved the Giants yesterday, but they got crushed. That didn't work out for me. So just off the top of my head, I think I'm going to go with some props, a lot of props today. Miss Real Green Chili? Yes, I do. Can't alt my lines? Well, DraftKings lets you alt your lines. So you must not be using DraftKings. Would you lay the run line with the Orioles -1.5? Yeah, I would do that. Maybe a small bet. Don't bet the farm, but yeah, a small bet there. Trevor Rogers has been pitching good, and San Zatella is just a mess. So yeah. So last thing we're gonna do. You don't like sushi? No, I don't like sushi. Mexican food in Mexico. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's really good. Never had it though. I went to Mexico. You lived in Mexico, Chris? That's cool. When I was at the University of Arizona, we went to Mexico quite often because we were all 19-year-olds, and the drinking age in Mexico was 18, and we could get Coronas for $1. There was a bar in Nogales. Nogales is about, I'd say an hour and 15-minute drive from the University of Arizona campus. So we would drive down to Nogales, and there was a bar there called The Cave. And it was literally inside a mountain, like a cave. It was like dug in a cave. Like when you walked in, it was like rock all around you. It was literally a cave. So we would go into the cave and we would order Coronas for $1 and just drink up. It was really good, really fun time. Didn't eat the food though, but I'm sure the food was really good. What else we got in the questions and comments? Run line, Orioles run line. Yeah, I'd say both of those. Either that or take them both on the money line in a parlay. Like the Orioles today. Tex-Mex rules. Like the Orioles today. I kind of do too. But they won big yesterday, so or no, they lost yesterday. Great. Yeah. Good time to take the Orioles today, I think. Orioles over 5.5. I wouldn't argue with that. I would not take Colorado today, but maybe would take their team total. I do like the Orioles too. Um, some viewers like Wolf can't use DraftKings, unfortunately. Well, yeah, that is unfortunate because DraftKings gives the best options and the best alts. Because alting, you can make a lot of money alting. Senzatella sucks. Yes, Chris. Chris, you're very active in the comments. Yes, Senzatella sucks. I completely agree with you. So let me show you one other thing that I do when I'm capping is I like to do hits, runs, RBIs. And the reason I like hits, runs, RBIs more than total bases is because with total bases, if your batter walks, it doesn't count as an at bat. Whereas total bases, if he walks with the bases loaded, you get an RBI. If he walks and gets knocked in, you can get the run. So, your questions, of course. You guys are the reason I'm here. And now we have almost 600 people watching live. So I'm going to stay on a little longer. But I want to show you something I do for hits, runs, RBIs. Now, I did my stats earlier. So hits, runs, RBIs. Now, I scan for this sometimes. I want to find someone with an OPS over 700. If they're 800 or something, that would be nice. We'll take a look and target some. Okay, Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw has poor numbers against Boston. So let's take a look at who's doing the damage against Clayton Kershaw. Well, the sample size is not huge. It's only 34, but take a look here. Trevor Story, 8 for 23. Got a 348 average against 853 OPS. So that's someone I would think about doing a hits, runs, RBIs for. Take a look at his game log. First, or Clayton Kershaw. I want to look at Trevor Story. So let's look at his game log. First, I'll look over here. He's got a 252 average. That's okay. 680, 698 OPS, not really okay. See if he's on any kind of run right now. Hit. Okay, so he's got 3 games in a row with 1 hit, and then he got a 2-hit game before that. But he's got a 4-game streak going on. So what I would do is I would look at Trevor's Story, hits, runs, RBIs over 0.5, and maybe parlay that with something else because his over 0.5 will probably be like minus 300. So let's take a look at another pitcher with a high, yes, Bubic. Or Bubic, however you say his name. So he's got a high OPS against the Guardians. Let's take a look at who's doing damage against Chris Bubic. Let's take a look. What do we got? Angel Martinez is 3 for 3. That's not a good sample size. This is a good. Jose Ramirez, 5 for 9 with 3 RBIs against him. Okay. Jose Ramirez. Let's take a look at Jose. 297, 902. Yeah, that's something I would like to see. But what kind of streak does Jose Ramirez have? 2 hits, 1. So Jose Ramirez, hits, runs, RBIs, definitely something to look at. So I put my notes here. So Jose Ramirez, definitely something I'm going to look at after the show for his hits, runs, RBIs. What time is that game? 8:16. So we still have time. But it's game 2. Is that game 1? Yeah, it's game 2 of a doubleheader. Nah, maybe I won't do it. But anyway, I'm just giving you guys a look into how I approach these games. I hope this is helpful for you. I'll wrap it up in a few minutes, but we got almost 600 people watching. If you have any other questions, I can address them. If you want me to cap another game, you made a live show. Okay, good for you. Hopefully you get lots of people watching. Guys, do me a huge favor. Huge favor. You guys are saying I'm muted. Sound back? Are we back? Let me know. Am I muted still? Okay, hang on. Are we back? Can you hear me? Okay. Do me a huge favor. Go leave a comment and like the replay. Also, I have. Am I muted again? Okay, guys, giving me. You're muted. You're back. You're muted. You're back. Okay. So I have a 4% play out in Japanese or MLB today, and I'm the #1 capper in 2025, 2024, 2022, 2021. 2023 was not a great year for me. I tried to cap football, didn't go well. My baseball was okay, but yeah, 2023 was a bad year. Go grab my 4% MLB play today. Go download my pitcher projections for today. It's downloadable on my WagerTalk page. And yes, you can ask questions, man. Craig Ike. Yes, you can ask questions, of course. That's why I'm here. It's currently 2:20 a.m. in Japan, but I feel like Johnny Fever, the late night DJ. One last question. Yeah, Chris, Chris, you've been very active in the chat. I already know that you used to live in Mexico, and yeah, ask me something, guys. Ask me something, and I'll sign off after you ask me a question. Give me something. We can cap another game, or whatever you guys like. What is ha 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 ha? We're all wrong 40% of the time. In sports betting, if you're only wrong 40%, that's good. To be honest, the best cappers of all time win about 57 to 58%. I'm winning 59 right now, so in 2025. But how do I create a sheet like yours? Do I get the info? Yeah, I use Google Sheets, and I import all the data from. Let me share my screen real quick. So I use Google Sheets, and see here, I import from Fangraphs. So it's just a straight import from Fangraphs. And right here, I label it here what it is. This is starting pitchers all season. Down, and then I import starting last 7 for batting, last 14 for batting, and then last 30 days for starting pitchers. I import all that information, and then I put it in a spreadsheet, which gives me this. So a lot of it is current form, but yeah, that's how I do it. And sure, you could make your own. Might take some time, but I've been doing this since I was a scout. So nicely done, TV. Appreciate it. Thank you. It won't let you import on yours? It will. You have to use the import HTML command. Go to Google and write Google Sheets HTML import. It'll show you how to do it. Tokyo Saturday, yes. Fangraphs lets me import, so I don't know why it's not letting you. But let's see. Oh, you know what, Chris? I'm sorry, I misspoke. You have to paste it in yourself. You're right. As of about a year ago, Fangraphs doesn't let it automatically import. So I pull up the last, you got to go to last 30 days, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to actually cut and paste the numbers. You're right. It doesn't import. You're correct. Sorry. I stand corrected. So part of being good at what you do is admitting when you need to change your ways. So always be flexible to change your ways when you're proven wrong. Do one more game and then we'll get out of here, okay? Let's see what game we're gonna do. Share my screen. Do one more game real quick. Out. So, what game shall we do? Let's do Mets Giants because that's a later game. So we got Peterson versus Robbie Ray, right? So New York Mets, San Francisco Giants, Robbie Ray against Peterson. So straight off the bat, Robbie pitchers basically equal. Bullpen, San Francisco has an advantage. In hitting, San Francisco has an advantage. So if Robbie Ray is good at home and has good numbers against the Mets, I will try for San Francisco today. Let's see his numbers at home. He's got a 2.53 ERA. Very nice. Let's see how he does against the Mets. 250 average and it's 791 OPS. That's not horrible. It's not great. So let's see what Peterson does against these batters. Giants, 308 against, 899. That's terrible. Let's see how he does on the road. If he's terrible on the road, I'm going to back the Giants today. Yep, 402. 191 at home and 402 on the road. So to me, that looks like a Giants bet. Let's see what the number is. Do we get a decent number taking the Giants? Look. San Francisco minus 115. Not bad at all. That's what ESPN says. I'm sure the more sharper books have a different number. But yeah, I think San Francisco might be a decent bet here today. They burned me yesterday, but as we know, baseball goes back and forth. Doesn't go the same every single day. And like a commenter said, yesterday doesn't really matter to today. And I kind of agree with that in some cases. Love you, Tokyo Brandon. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. I'm alone out here in Tokyo, so getting your warm support makes me feel less homesick. I will be in Arizona September 14th. I will be at the Desert Diamond Casino. If any Arizonans out there want to hang out, if any of you are in Japan right now, let me know where you're at and maybe we could meet up as well. There's no casinos in Japan. Unfortunately, sports betting is illegal in Japan. So, but I do find a way. I have my uncle bet my games for me in Arizona, and there's other ways you can bet games. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. Do me a huge favor. Go to the replay, leave a comment, and leave a like. Let WagerTalk know that you like this show and that you like what I'm doing, and they'll let me continue doing it. We've got more than 600 people watching right now, but I'm going to sign off because it's 2:28 a.m. in Japan on Sunday morning, and my head is, I feel like either I'm hungover or I'm jet lagged or something, so I probably should go to bed before I pass out. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you pick up my 4% MLB play. I'm the #1 sports profit capper out of all cappers at WagerTalk. I'm #1 this year. I was #1 last year as well. So I'm a pretty good guy to ride with. Grab my free play as well at my page at WagerTalk, wt.buzz/TB. You can find my pitcher projections PDF file there and all my rankings as well. Thanks, Brandon. Get some rest, bro. See you Monday at Total Bases. I will be there. Thanks, TB. Thanks for everything. Good night. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for staying up. Look, this is what I do, man. This is what I do. So be able to take a sign-off shot. I'm not allowed to, unfortunately. Sorry. Maybe I'll find a way around it. Anyways. To be honest, I drink Fireball while I'm doing my numbers usually. So it's kind of awkward for me not to be doing it, but hey. Yeah, anyways, no more commenting on that. Another fine show, TB. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will be heading to Las Vegas in September. I should be in Vegas on the 17th and 18th of September. So if any of you are out there, we can meet up there, or Desert Diamond Casino in Arizona. I'll be there almost every day from September 13th. So I'm amazing. You're a fan of me. Just wish I could see an example of the import of the sheets. Let me show you that, Chris. Thanks for the nice words, but I'll show you how I import something. This is how you should do it. Okay. I'm doing this just for you, Chris, and then I will sign off. So when I go here, you want to get the last 30 days and the season stats for your pitchers. So for example, mine's here. So if you go to Fangraphs, you do, this is full season, right? So you can see here, I've got all pitchers, no split, and I've got them for the season, right? 25, 25, everything. So it gives you these, but I paste these in by hand. You have to do it like this. Paste them in by hand, unfortunately. More than a year ago, you could import Fangraphs, but they did something to their site, so you can't. So now you go here and you just Control V, boom, they're pasted in. That's how I do it. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Okay, hopefully that was helpful for you. That's how I do it. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate the nice words. I'm going to sign off and get some sleep. I will be back Monday on Total Bases. That every update every day though? Yes, it is updated every day. You have to cut and paste. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. But yes, I do it. I have a 4% play out today, guys, and I have a free play. So at least go look at my page, wt.buzz/tv. See what I have for free. Oh, wow. Okay. George Costanza, I will take my blank in my bathroom. Yes. George Costanza. There's some really good Seinfeld stuff, guys. So yeah, maybe it'll be a Seinfeld. Actually, since Ozzy died, I've just been listening to Ozzy all week long. Speak of the Devil, the live album. I've been listening to that because he does Black Sabbath live. That was, I think, 1980, maybe around 1992 or so. Anyways, Brad Gillis on guitar, Rudy Sarzo on bass. Man, that's a great album. So if you want to listen to some Ozzy, Speak of the Devil is good. Or if you like studio albums, Ozzy's Blizzard of Oz, great album. Mr. Crowley, and just a lot of good stuff. Anyways, I'm signing off, guys. Take it easy. Leave a comment and a like. It shows WagerTalk that you like my show because they need to be told that my show is good. So if you like what I'm doing here, tell them. I'm going to go get some sleep, guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm signing off. I'll be back with more. I'll see you guys on Monday.